Today I'm driving down to the southeast shoreline of the Dead Sea, and this is the area that the Bible calls the cities of the plain. It's also the area that has the archaeological sites that date to the time period of what's known as the early Bronze Age, and this is the time when Abraham and his nephew Lot lived. This is the time when the Bible says that the Lord destroyed the cities of the plain. So I'm standing now at the largest of these early bronze sites on the southeast side of the Dead Sea. This one locally is known as Bab edh-Dhra, and is the site that is associated with Sodom in the Bible. It was discovered as an early bronze site back in 1924. It was excavated in the 1960s and 1970s. And what archaeologists found here was this burn destruction that goes across this site. This city came to an end through a fire destruction. So here you can see this ashy burn destruction layer just underneath the surface. It's full of human bone fragments, burned pottery, and it's covering the entire site. So off in the distance here you can see Bab edh-Dhra, identified as Sodom, and then right here to the southwest is this massive cemetery that you can see with all these pits that mark its boundaries, and these are formed because of the locals for decades have been coming and digging into these graves looking for antiquities to sell in the antiquity market. And so it's estimated from the archaeologists that dug here back in the 60s and the 70s that there are around 500,000 people buried in this cemetery. And it's just staggering. And what's really intriguing then is that they found a burn destruction across the cemetery that happened at the same time that the city was destroyed. So the city and the cemetery were destroyed in the same fire disaster. Okay, so I'm just leaving the cemetery of Bab edh-Dhra, that is Sodom, and I'm driving about 8 miles to the south to another excavated site identified as the biblical city of Gomorrah. Total burn destruction. Okay, so Bab edh-Dhra was destroyed by fire at the same time that its cemetery was destroyed by fire. The city was never rebuilt. This city associated with Gomorrah has a burn destruction over it. The city came to a dramatic end with the fire destruction at the same time that Bab edh-Dhra was destroyed by fire. And this city was never, ever, ever lived in again. What is it that burned these cities and the cemetery at Bab edh-Dhra? The Bible describes it as burning sulfur raining down from the sky. And is there anything that matches this description that's still left in the geological record in this area? What is this burning sulfur? And there is an archaeology museum here that where the excavations that have taken place here over the years, the artifacts are on display in the Bible. And so here at this archaeology museum, they have on display here these sulfur balls that are found in the area down near the Dead Sea. And so their interpretation is that these are the culprits, that this is what caused these cities in this area to be burned in the ancient past.
give you an idea of how many sulfur balls there are. So this is a sulfur ball, sulfur balls. All these are sulfur balls, sulfur ball, sulfur ball, everywhere.
Where are these sulfur balls coming from? They're coming from this geological formation. You can see sulfur balls, what is called in situ, in place. They're placed right here in this particular layer. So if I so what they're doing is they're eroding out of this, right? And then washing down in the ravines. And so you have all of these preserved in this geological layer that goes and goes and goes. And so that's where they're coming from. I'm gonna burn one of these sulfur balls just to show you how flammable they are. I gotta be careful because, man, when you get a whiff of these things, it's really nasty. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why sulfur balls would only be preserved in water, because if they strike the land, then they're going to burn up. You can see the goo, it's just melting down to goo and then dripping off. So really, anywhere that they would have landed on land, they would have burned up like this, and they would have burned anything flammable around them. This is how the cities in the plain were burned. However, if they would have hit the water of the Dead Sea, that would have extinguished them, and therefore they wouldn't have burned up, and they would have sank down to the bottom of the floor of the Dead Sea and been preserved in a geological layer.